HDTV is brought to you by Harley-Davidson Financial Services, Northside Harley-Davidson and the Fraser Harley-Davidson Group, and the Bayford Group, celebrating 100 years, along with Harley-Davidson Australia.
Gotta get on the road, gotta get on the gas. Got that white line fever, I really wanna pass. Gotta stay on the road, that feels like home. While sitting on my Harley, I'm never alone.
Last time on HDTV, we headed to the USA for the launch of the model year 2018 range of Harley-Davidson bikes. After an introduction to the bikes by the head designers, everyone was raring to go.
All right, boys and girls, we're just about to take off. Today we ride 4 of the new ones, so it should be good.
Out across the LA freeways, this was the first opportunity for everyone to get the feel of these new bikes before hitting the twisties. The ride made its way up into the hills and across the San Bernardino mountain range. And that's where we find our journalists, giving these Harleys a good workout. This ride had promised to be one of the best these journalists had ever experienced. But this area is prone to hazards.
Yeah, we're just going to stop and let those trucks go. There's a lot of rock slides around here. Every year, there's loads of stuff that comes on the road. So it gets quite dangerous. We've seen some really big boulders.
Over the next 2 days, the journey will be around 350 kilometres, eventually landing back in LA. Everyone will have the chance to ride all 8 bikes. And with a bunch of photo shoots planned, they're hoping the weather plays along. The first riding session is over. For the journalists, these Softails are officially launched.
What were you riding?
The street bob, yeah.
You getting around all right?
Oh, I enjoyed it, yeah. It was fun.
From the street bob to the fat bob.
I like the flat handlebars. I like the seam position. Really tucks you in there, so you're really in that aggressive mode, which is in tune with the bike. So that's what I like. This 114 engine, just around 3,000, is beautiful. And under hard braking, the cartridge forks really hold firm, and with the sharp steering as well, it makes for a pretty potent cornering motorcycle.
While the journos work, Dundo and Adam are just taking it all in.
So he's a local boy. You from around here, mate?
Yeah.
What happens here during the year, much?
No, not much.
Not much?
This place just loves us visitors. After a quick bite, it's time to get back on the bikes. And there's one that's making an impression.
What do you reckon the fat bob?
Loved it, 114 inch. Mate, the seat pushes you, you feel like you sit in the bike, it's great. Nice little pullback bars. So far, that's my pick.
It's getting a few pluses, the old fat bob.
Yeah, everyone's loving it.
I'm taking this baby, the deluxe.
The deluxe.
And just did the breakout and the low rider.
All of these bikes are bringing out star qualities.
I was talking to a police officer, you could nearly be mistaken. Bit of chips action
That's
going
true.
on.
I was riding a white bike before. I reckon I look like him.
Eric Estrada.
We'll leave that decision to you guys. Meanwhile, this bike swapping is getting confusing.
Now we need to change another. No?
Okay. Yeah, no, you need to change, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think you're on that, Brum.
It says Neil. I don't care what I ride.
I'm just going to ride whatever's left.
Eventually, it was sorted, and we continued the ride across the San Bernardino mountain range, heading for Lake Arrowhead. Once off the freeways, there'd be 70 kilometres of winding roads, and the journos couldn't wait for that. For a media launch like this, Harley-Davidson are very specific when choosing the route and photographic locations. It not only has to be scenic, but contain different riding conditions, allowing each rider the opportunity to fully test and critique the bike's capabilities. But it's not easy.
Pretty hard to learn 8 bikes in 2 days, especially for an old bloke like me. Keep on a run through them.
Got another day.
Refer to my
You got
cheat
another
sheet.
go.
No, it all comes together at the last minute. We've been to these things before and you come along and they all look very confusing. Once you start to rotate through them and ride them a lot, you learn each one's characteristics. And it's funny, all these bikes are built on the same chassis platform, yet they've all got different personalities, yeah.
After a great ride on these bikes, last on the list for the day is a photo shoot, and primed and ready are our photographers. It's a fair bit of pressure. These photographers only get a couple of shots at each bike, and our journos aren't making it easy. But with a steady hand and a bit of experience, there's some fantastic results. Photo shoot over, it's the last opportunity for some twisties before they hit the accommodation. Pulling into the resort, these bikes have already impressed.
Well, I found my bike so far. From out of the 4 bikes, I'll take this.
We'll be back with more great riding from the USA after the break. We're on a media ride in the USA for the launch of the Model Year 2018 range of Harley-Davidson bikes. And after only 1 day's riding, these bikes have certainly impressed.
I was a bit confronted by that fat bike. When you look at it, when you see it in the flesh, the little pillbox in the front, the recessed bloody light, it's really nice.
I like the heritage, the black heritage. Just ride, easy to ride, predictable, fun. Oh, it's got to be the fat bob. It's just something about that bike. They've done a brilliant job with it. Twin disc front end, thing handles nicely. It's a fun bike to ride. So it's something a little bit outside the square for Harley, I think. So
What about our international friend over here?
The Street Bob. I got a chance to ride that today. It was my favorite. Also, I got very surprised by the Softail Deluxe. I thought I would be scraping all the time. No.
Most surprised were the Japanese journalists.
Very exciting and comfortable. I think will be a big hit in Japan.
From a country built on sports bikes, Japan has only ever seen Harley-Davidson as cruisers. But all that's about to change.
So when you look at the design, the form, it's actually Harley-Davidson. But yet, when you actually ride it, it's more like a sport bike. So that's what really impressed him.
And the feeling is feverish.
Get him off quick!
There goes the heritage style.
Who could blame him? Fantastic bikes in a fantastic location.
All right, it is the morning of the second day.
Day 2.
San Bernardino.
Mountain range.
And we're at Lake Arrowhead.
That's right.
Behind us are all the bikes, so they're all set out clean. So everybody has ridden 4 bikes. Today I get the Fat Bob, so I'm keen to have a look at that.
You're on the 114.
That's it.
There you go.
That's it. And all you Fat Boy fans, the new Fat Boy, it's back.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
And on hand was one of the designers who's been part of making this all happen.
All right, with Kirk here and Brum from Heavy Duty, but Kirk is the man. Yesterday we saw him at the launch and you spoke very well, mate. So styling, you're the man.
The cruisers that have been successful over the years have had this very strong hardtail line, a spine that goes from the steering head all the way to the rear axle.
Yeah.
And also the monoshock kind of completes that line right now. So it's very important for us to maintain kind of that classic architecture but inject some modern excitement.
And what do the journos think?
I'm a bit dirty actually because I was years working out what was a Softail, what was a Dyna and what was the differences, and now they go and change it all. So, but look, it's clear that there's been a big improvement. I think the lightweight is a big thing. And when we were sitting in the press conference yesterday and they were talking about, well, we don't really just get a tape measure and measure ground clearance. It's all about lean angles in the real world. I was thinking, oh yeah, here comes a bit more marketing bullshit. But then you do ride it, and it's true. The things don't ground out as early. In fact, the base model, Street Bob, I couldn't deck it out, and I was having a bit of a go. I'll tell you now, that is such a sweet little bike, and for the money, you know, I mean, it's going to take a lot of beating.
Well, I started on the Slim yesterday, and the Slim to me, I always liked the Slim, but just didn't handle. But now, it's so different. It was like a different motorcycle. Then I got on the Fat Bob, the 114, and I think that'll be the more popular, the bigger motor. I mean, the 107's brilliant, pulls hard, but the 114, what a motor, mate. From the ground up, it's like a whole new motorcycle, as you know, new engine, new frame. I mean, I've always been a bit of a soft-tail fan. Dyna's not too bad. I always like the Dynas as well, but more the soft tail. So to see them all in the one range now was really good. But it's revolutionary, mate. Just you ride them, and that's what people need to do. They need to ride them, mate.
The Aussies seem to like them. What about a French-Canadian journalist?
Do you like this?
Yeah, I was telling my fan page that I was surprised with this bike. When I got on it, I was like, what's this?
I know.
Hands in the air, knees up. I was like, I didn't understand.
Like an old push bike.
Yeah, I felt like a monkey on a bear's back. And then we started going in the curves, and I was like, okay, you can throw this on the curves. So it's actually very, very nimble.
It is nimble.
It's a fun bike to ride. I like the look of it also. So yeah, overall, a great surprise for me because I have never ridden that.
Well, so far, it's my favourite.
Yeah,
Out of the four I rode yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
But because of the corners.
Yeah, we get along so well.
That's it.
The new body, the new chassis, it's wonderful. You see the stiffness in the corners, and also when you go really fast in a straight line, you can feel the strength of the motorcycles. My best so far, one day, the Deluxe, but great family this year for Harley Davidson.
So far, so good. And what's on for today?
I have no idea, Dundee. What I do is I walk around and get pointed at things and I sit on them. And I don't know where we're going. I don't know most of the people. I've done no research, but I get on the bike and ride and have a good time, and that's what I'll do again today.
I'm happy with that.
With this range of model year 2018 Harley-Davidson bikes now available in Australia, why not be the first to test ride them? Drop into Northside Harley-Davidson, Fraser Harley-Davidson, or Northern Beaches Harley-Davidson and feel the difference. After the break, the great riding continues on our 2018 Softail Media Launch. We're at Lake Arrowhead in the USA on a media ride for the launch of the brand new 2018 Harley-Davidsons. About to head off, there seems to be a hold-up.
I heard you yelling, you got 5 riders, you're looking for 3.
We're looking for 3, you know, they're all over the place.
What country are they from?
We don't know. Japan, Canada. Yeah, they're usually pretty organised. They organise themselves, but because we've changed the order of
Well, if you're
leaving.
looking for any Aussies, they're probably still in the bar.
Of course they are. You know where they are.
Eventually, the missing riders were found, and could this have been one of them?
All right, with Kevin, the main man.
Yes.
Did our presentation yesterday, and you were about to go.
I am. I'm excited.
You're
excited.
in the group?
Yeah, I am. Riding the new Softail Breakout.
How did you end up with
beautiful
this?
motorcycle. Huh?
For the hills. You happy with the hills?
I am.
Good.
I am. Yeah, it's great. It handles great. The acceleration of this 114 motor is awesome. Yeah. And looking forward to it. Another great day in the office.
There you go. One of the men behind it actually rides the brand. It's good.
Yes, sir.
Designs the brand.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Good
Love
man.
it. Very
well, we
fortunate.
won't hold you up.
Thank you.
Actually,
Thank you.
Get out of the way because we're behind you.
Yeah, man. We'll see you guys soon.
The destination was set, and we were ready for off.
I'm on the fat boy, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Leaving Lake Arrowhead, heading back to LA, there'll be a couple of stops along the way. But this first one wasn't scheduled. A little bit of selfie time, and who could resist this view? Or was it that view? This area is well known to Harley riders. Not only is there great twisties, but the scenery isn't bad either. and an obvious route for these media rides. Next is a scheduled stop in Big Bear Lake. These new Harleys rolling into town definitely don't go unnoticed. They already appeal to this young fella.
Won't reach the other one.
And on the wish list for his dad. For the journos, it's time to swap bikes.
Oh, I'm on a street robin. Haven't had a go on this one yet, so looking forward to it.
Adam Wright gives the all clear, and it's back on the road. On today's agenda is one last photo shoot in the hills just outside LA. It's 130 kilometres away, and the word is we might be in for a change with the weather. With the improved handling of these bikes and the 70 kilometres of winding roads, our riders enjoy every bend. Having made good time, we were now on the outskirts of LA and in need of a pit stop.
We better get moving because it looks like the rain's about to hit.
Though there was a bit of drizzle, it didn't dampen the spirits of our riders or make them ease off the throttle. Glad to reach the photo destination before the heavens opened, we were greeted by the California Highway Patrol, on duty to keep things safe for our photo shoot. With most of the bikes through, no one's got wet.
It's been a pretty good day. Didn't rain. Always a good time when that happens.
But with it threatening, there was time for just one more shot. Why not make it a double? But it's gonna be tight. With all the snaps done for this trip, it was time to head back to LA.
Hey, Australia! Take care, guys.
See you, mate.
Thank you.
Watching Holidays on TV.
Yay! We'll be back with more from the USA after the break. We're in the USA on the model year 2018 Harley-Davidson media launch. After a couple of days of riding, around 350 kilometres, 8 bike changes, a bunch of photo shoots and a bit of fun, all the work is done. So the ride back to LA is a leisurely one. Though it's been a hectic couple of days, no one was looking forward to handing the bikes back.
Thanks, mate.
Well done.
Good riding.
That was a hell of a day.
It'll be interesting to hear what all these journos have got to say. That was one of the best roads I've ever ridden.
I went from top 10 to top 5 rides.
Good guys. Top 10 to top 5.
You've got to make an adjustment for the right-hand side of the road.
Did you like all the bikes? What was your favourite bike?
My favorite?
Yeah.
The final, I thought that the...
Drum roll.
The Heritage.
Heritage. Hey, I'm with you.
Street Bob.
Street Bob number one.
Number one. Then probably the Fat Bob and probably Heritage third. But that bit of fun I had on the breakout in the last little bit, I'm torn between third place. Depends.
It all depends on the road.
It depends on the road for sure.
My favourite was the Street Bob. I mean, what a great entry level model for the entire range. And you know, like its affordable price means that you can go shopping in the accessories catalogue and really personalise it and make it yours.
Probably the Fat Bob.
or the street bob, one or the other. Like, I mean, I love the street bob with little ape hangers on it and that. You can really...
You look like you're built for that. I was following you up the road a minute ago. You look like...
Yeah, that's it.
This thing here is slim.
Yeah, that was another surprise in the back.
Mate, it's bloody great.
Never handled before.
Mate, the handle's unreal, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Did I just hear beer o'clock?
I think so.
Adam, was that beer o'clock?
Yep, beer o'clock.
He's the boss. So let's go.
Let's do it.
Definitely beer o'clock, boys.
But before there was any more of these photos, there was the official one.
Harley used to little increments of development, evolution it was. But in the past few years, you know, with the Rushmore and then the Milwaukee 8 and now, this is a revolution. It's not an evolution. You know, they've really, really refined the art of making a big, bulky V-twin into a usable power plant. And it's more economical. And that's the other thing that they've done too. The styling's really good. The styling is so much more hipster. It's so much more now. And I think the young people are going to really warm to these bikes.
All right, well, it's all over. This is the 2018 launch, and I'm standing here with Jen Hoyer. And Jen, congratulations, because she is the legend who put the whole thing together. Great, great event.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited to have these 2018s on the road finally. The biggest launch I've done, from the number of bikes to the number of journalists getting through in 2 days on amazing roads, but I think we did
Fantastic roads. So Adam was our camera rider. He rode, and this cameraman, he was sitting on the back, and he got into some pretty twisty spots and got out again.
It was a good ride though. It was one of the best I've ever done, I've got to admit. And the weather was beautiful, roads were good, and bikes were even better.
The bikes are great, so go and test ride them, and if you don't, you know, you're a bit sooking up about the dyno thing, don't worry, they're all good. Thanks a lot, Jen. Let's go. Dinner, the bus is waiting.